reclassify the property of Gregory W. Stutes, William R. Stutes, Melanie Ann Durio, Larry Paul Durio, Marie Durio LeBlanc. Case number ZON 2019-0005, 500 block of Ridge Road rezoning, located generally north of Ridge Road, west of Rue de Billier, and generally south of Hyacinth Street. The particular parcel being rezoned from commercial mix to residential single family for a portion of the subject property, with the rezoning to residential single family to begin at 250 feet from the front property line along Ridge Road.
Motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Boudreaux. Second by Councilman Nakhan. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Call for the vote, please.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? District 4? District 5?
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 32, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City-Parish Council amending the Unified Development Code so as to reclassify the property of C.J. Goulas, case number ZON 2019-0006, 523 East Pont Des Mouton Road rezoning, located generally north of Pont Des Mouton Road, east of Moss Street, and south of Crestline Drive, the particular parcel being rezoned from commercial mix to commercial heavy.
Motion by Councilman Castile, second by Councilman Lewis. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Williams, any public comment card?
No, sir.
Please call for the vote.
District 7?
Yes.
District,
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3? District 4? District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 33, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City-Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City-Parish Consolidated Government to sell at an internet auction miscellaneous surplus LCG movable property which are no longer needed for public purposes as per the attached list auction.
Need a motion and a second. Have a motion by Councilman Conk, second by Councilman Castile. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Please call for the vote.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7? The motion is approved. Ordinance 34, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City-Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into an act of deposit on behalf of the Lafayette Police Department of K-9 Ringo to Corporal Matthew Benoit, police dog.
Motion by Councilman Terrio, second by Councilwoman Cook. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Williams, any public comments?
Yes, sir.
Please call for the vote.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4? District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7? District 8? The motion is approved. Ordinance 35, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City-Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into an agreement between the Lafayette City-Parish Consolidated Government and the Export-Import Bank of the United States for a cooperative marketing arrangement.
Motion by Councilman Conk, second by Councilwoman Cook. Councilman Terrio, you have the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Duyon, if you don't mind, CAO, could you give those watching and listening an idea of why the Lafayette Consolidated and the Export-Import Bank of the United States have a cooperative marketing arrangement?
Hold up, Mr. Terrio. Is Mr. Melanson here? Ah, here we go.
Yeah. Real brief.
Good evening. I'm Robert Melanson, Director of the International Trade Division housed in the International Center. So can you repeat your question, please?
Can you provide for those listening and those watching why we are having an agreement between LCG and the Import-Export Bank for a marketing agreement?
Okay. Basically, in order to represent Export-Import Bank in dealing with the businesses that we deal with to try to promote exports, we need to sign this agreement. It will allow us to get training from the Export-Import Bank. Right now, when we deal with businesses, we're basically representing the Export-Import Bank informally, and we're pretty much self-taught on on the different services that they offer. So the main thing that Export-Import Bank does is it offers foreign trade credit insurance to businesses, which will allow them to take a policy to a local bank and use that as collateral for financing. So in order to do this, it will improve our ability to deliver services to the businesses in Lafayette Parish.
But basically, without the agreement, we wouldn't be getting all the education on this that we should be.
Right, that's very true.
All right, well, that solves it. Thank you. All right, that's
Sure.
all I have.
Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Please call for the vote.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5, District 6,
Yes.
District 7, District 8, District 9. The motion is approved. Ordinance 36, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City-Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to execute the attached agreement between the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and the Lafayette Police Department, and amending the fiscal year 1819 operating budget of the Lafayette City-Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $18,343.75 received from the FBI and appropriating within the Lafayette Police Department.
Motion by Councilman Terrio, second by Councilman Lewis. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Please call for the vote.
District 2? Yes. District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1? The motion is approved. Ordinance 37, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City-Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1819 capital budget of the Lafayette City-Parish Consolidated Government by increasing reimbursement revenues from the State of Louisiana Facility Planning and Control for Government Complex renovations of Parish Courthouse, project number 50J2804B03, in the amount of $3 million to be appropriated within the Public Works Department for said project, District 3.
Motion by Councilman Conk, second by Councilman Lewis. Councilman Conk, you have the floor.
I'll be as brief as possible. Laura, you and I had communicated about what monies were in the budget for the courthouse complex, the existing budget. And did I read your response correctly that there's 1.290 allocated in the current budget for courthouse improvements? I guess my question is this in the $3 million would be added to the 1.2?
The $3 million would be added to the money that LCG has put towards the courthouse.
So the way I read it, based on your correspondence, is we're looking at about 4.3 million.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Seeing no other questions, any public comment?
No, sir.
Please call for the vote.
District 3? District 4?
Yes.
District 5? District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8? District 9? District 1? District 2? The motion is approved. Ordinance 38, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City-Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1819 capital budget of the Lafayette City-Parish Consolidated Government by transferring a total of $20,000 from 3 roofing exterior repairs accounts to the RPL City Court Building Roof account managed by the Public Works Department Facilities Maintenance Division.
A motion by Councilwoman Cook, second by Councilman Conk. Seeing no council discussions, Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Please call for the vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yeah.
District 2? District 3? The motion is approved. Ordinance 39, 2019, an ordinance of the Lafayette City-Parish Council amending portions of Chapter 26 Development Regulations of the Lafayette City-Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances in order to align these regulations with Louisiana State Law.
A motion by Councilwoman Cook, second by Councilman Terrio. Seeing Mr. Terrio in line, you have the floor.
Yes, if you don't mind, Ms. Bro, recognize yourself and give us a brief overview of what this does, please.
Danielle Rowe, Development and Planning. This was an
to look at the code of ordinances and align it with the state regulations, rather than having to come back and update it every time the state updates one of their codes, that we would have to come back and update ours. So again, it just does a complete referral to the state.
So how many are we looking at to give somebody watching or listening an idea? When you say it updates what we have compared to the state,
It aligns with the state codes, with the building codes and the fire life safety codes and everything that we already, anytime they have a new version, then our code would have to be updated to align with their new version. We follow the state in everything that we do from a code perspective.
very good, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Please call for the vote.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion is approved.
I'd like to remind everyone that item number 33 has been withdrawn per the appellant's request. Please read item number 34. This is appeals.
Reconsideration of appeal of Planning Commission action by adjacent property owner, Drainage, Traffic, Safety, and Crime, Audubon Farms Subdivision, PC 2018-0057.
I would like to ask legal to explain the need for reconsideration. Mr. Escott?
Certainly. I'm sorry.
Okay.
In the prior meeting, there were the appeals taken up. There was never a majority vote obtained on any of the 4 appeals at that time. It was a 4-4 split across the board. The UDC provision 8969E2 was called into question and specifically applicable to those appeals that affirmatively requires a majority vote to approve, disapprove, or modify the Planning Commission's action. And so because of the UDC provision in 8969E2, that was not satisfied, and so these procedurally were required to be reconsidered by the council.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to call someone from Development and Planning to the podium to explain. Before you do that, Councilman Nakia, can you hit your button, sir? Councilman Nakia, you have the floor.
Okay. Under the Louisiana Code of Government Ethics, I have a conflict of interest, or at the least a potential or perceived conflict of interest due to my professional relationship and my employer's business relationship with one of the residents of Audubon Plantation. For that reason, I must recuse myself from this vote. The Code of Government Ethics disallows me from voting, although I am permitted to participate in discussion.
Thank you, Councilman Nakia. Councilwoman Abear.
Under the Louisiana Code of Governmental Ethics, I have a conflict of interest, or at least a potential perceived conflict of interest, due to my husband's personal relationship with one of the residents of Audubon Plantation. For that reason, I must recuse myself from this vote. The Code of Governmental Ethics disallows me from voting, although I'm permitted to participate in discussion.
Thank you, ma'am. Development Planning to the podium. Thank you. Please explain.
Hi, Ann Famoso, Development and Planning. As you know, you heard this on February 19th. This appeal is for Audubon Farms subdivision. It's 74 residential lots. It's the one on the left side of your screen here. It connects to Audubon Plantation Phase 3 and Sawgrass subdivision, and provides an additional stub-out street to the south, and also connects to Audubon Lakes to the east. The developers are meeting all standards of development of the UDC and accepted all conditions of development, and just asking for your reconsideration of this tonight. So, any questions for me?
Thank you. Any council discussion? Councilman Castile, you have the floor.
Are we gonna make a motion now, or we wait for everybody to talk?
Following my list, not yet. Any other council discussion? Seeing none, public comment.
We have 19 citizens who signed in who did not wish to speak, 16 of which supports the appeal, 3 of which are in opposition. We do have 9 speakers signed in for this item, the first of which is Bob Austin. He will be followed by Colby Domingue.
We've developed Audubon Plantation subdivision, and I've been an advocate of housing in Lafayette Parish for 50 years. And this is the first time I've spoken out against a development. And it's not because I think it is a bad development. It's because I've been put in a position that is untenable. In its own wisdom, the engineers at Public Works have decided that the roads in Audubon Plantation Phase 1 are a substandard. There's only one entrance in Audubon Plantation, and that is through Phase 1. So if the roads are substandard, then we must say that there is a safety issue. If there's a safety issue, then the public should not be using these roads until they are upgraded. Now, I've tried over the years to find out what needs to be done and talked many times with Public Works. We've held meetings, postponed inspections. I've had to hire attorneys to talk with Public Works to finally get an inspection. And each time we have met, I've been given a target, do this. We did that. Now we have a moving target. Then let's do this. We do that. And each time we spend money to the tune of now in excess of $250,000 and doing the various things that Public Works has asked us to do. Where we stand right now is my last meeting or last comment from the engineers at Public Works is, well, looking at this road, the part that was not completely redone, which is a very small segment of Phase 1, we really don't know what's underneath that. Or I don't know what's underneath that. So I can't recommend that we accept this for perpetual maintenance. Now, what does that mean? I don't know what's underneath that. How many of us know what's underneath those roads? We've had borings, cores done throughout the entire subdivision. Many, many times more than what is normally done in a subdivision on the roads in a subdivision. And we've corrected everything where there was found to be a defect. So I'm not sure what else is to do except to say that since they are substandard, then there's a safety hazard for you to allow additional public traffic on these roads.
Colby Domingue, followed by Chris Quibido.
Good evening, Colby Domingue, 100 Golden Eye. I also have a bit of a conflict of interest. I live in Audubon Plantation. I hope I can speak to you guys and join in the conversation. We spoke at length last month about our safety concerns, about drainage concerns, of adding roughly 250 additional vehicles navigating through the neighborhood for one access point out through Mill Creek Road. And we've spoken previously also that we firmly believe that this is not 2 separate developments, that this is a single development. Beautiful squares, common name. And when we look at these things together, Audubon Farms probably does check all the boxes correctly in the UDC. And if we look at Audubon Lakes, we don't know and understand how that checked all the boxes because there is a single point of access into Kingfisher, the shark fin at the top of that box. That if these were 2 separate developments, they would both have the burden of doing the review with UDC. Audubon Farms does have 2 points of access, Gunter Grass and Crossbill Lane. But when you look at Audubon Lakes by itself, it has a single point of entry. And it cannot exist passing UDC without being connected to Audubon Farms. And by that nature, this is a single development. Audubon Lakes they're both beautiful developments. Audubon Farms has the brain, the lungs, and the heart. Audubon Lakes has the brain, but it's missing a lot of other vital organs to stand alone and pass the UDC. Again, for us, we're asking you guys to focus on safety. We spoke at length, and we'll come back up here for 36 for a little more. But we appreciate, again, your thoughts, and would love to hear back from the Department of Planning to see if this truly did check all the boxes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Chris Quibido, followed by Darrell Fontenot.
Ma'am, I'm Chris Quibido, decline.
Okay, he passes. Darrell Fontenot, followed by Donnie Opry.
I'm Darrell Fontenot, and my wife and I are the owners of the 30 acres there for Audubon Farms, totally separate from the Audubon Lakes. We've owned this property for some 15 or so years. It's a country piece of property. We owned it before Audubon plantation or saltgrass was developed. We did not object to any of those developments when they were developed. They've moved, began to build that, and they have street access into our property for continuity so that traffic can flow through those subdivisions, tying it back together over to 722 over there, which is E. Broussard Road, as well as going out through the other way out to Vero School Road. So there's connectivities flowing through those subdivisions, and that's what the whole development's about. That's one of the requirements from the city parish planning, is to have connectivity between subdivisions so traffic can flow through that. That's open ground out past that that's going to be developed in the future that will go all the way out to Highway 92. So all of that can be able to be flowed out in different directions, bringing traffic through those subdivisions and moved out to various major arteries. If you block that off and doesn't allow that to be developed, then now you can't develop any of that property out there. So the property just dies. There's no development can take place. The business about traffic, safety, crime, that's just a general subject that can be discussed about at any subdivision that's built or anything that's built in this city. If you block it because of those reasons, you block all developments in Lafayette, whether it be commercial or whether it be residential, because those same kind of comments can be made at every turn. So I believe that you're chasing down something that's just a general topic. This meets all the requirements by the city and parish, has been through the planning commission and been approved by planning. And this appeal is being brought up because I'm not sure why that subdivision, because they have one street in there that they say is in bad shape, they need to fix it. That doesn't attach to this subdivision, to our development at all. It's a completely separate issue. So I don't think it should be entered into this thing. We've applied also for the incorporation into the city of Lafayette of this property, so there you'll have a greater tax base. And I know you're talking about taxes tonight for the fire department, police department, all that. So you have an opportunity to increase the tax base. And I would ask you to disallow this appeal. Thank you.
Donnie Opry, followed by Harold Rideau.
Good evening, Donnie Opry, I live at 206 Red Robin. Let me make this clear, we are not against these developments. We are fine with having these developments go forward. We're even fine with allowing the connectivity to our neighborhood in 2 spots. All we're asking is that you require the Audubon Lakes development to have a second entry point right there on Solange, on the road that comes right up to it. I'm not going to rehash what we talked in the first meeting. They already own the rights to the piece of property to do that. It's going to cost them another 100 feet of concrete to build out to that road. It's amazing what's in this UDC, this big 400-page document. When you really go through and read it, it is full of stuff. It's the reason why we're back over here for another revote today, because there are provisions in there on how we have to move forward. The thing about it is when you really read this thing, you realize this is not in compliance with the UDC. It is not in compliance. The developers were smart, and instead of having one big giant neighborhood, they divided it into two separate neighborhoods. As we talked about before, they're running them in together, getting them approved together, have the same engineer, same designer, everything. It's smart because it allows them to avoid the provision in the UDC that requires a traffic study. It is uncontested. If you have 100 homes or more in a single development, you have to have a traffic study. Right? There is no reason why the rationale for requiring a traffic study would not apply to two developments with 117 houses versus one development with 117. It's the exact same thing. But the developers were smart and divided it into two neighborhoods to avoid that. The problem is there's a provision in here that prevents them from doing that. There is a specific provision that prevents developers from either dividing it into phases or different neighborhoods, either by different developers using different LLCs. I mean, there's a specific provision that prevents that. And I think it can easily be proven in that case that that has been violated. The second issue is when they put it as two different ones to avoid the traffic study, they then turned around and caused a problem with their connectivity. The UDC requires two connection points to each neighborhood to different public streets, okay? You guys have to evaluate each one of these separately. They're asking you to evaluate Audubon Farms separately, Audubon Lake separately to avoid the traffic study. But you don't get 2 points of connectivity on Audubon Lakes unless you evaluate them together. There is only one connectivity, and that's to Audubon Plantation. The other proposed connection point is to a theoretical neighborhood that does not exist. That violates the UDC as well. So in trying to avoid having to do a traffic study, in essence, they have now violated the UDC when it comes to the connectivity issue. We also think there's problems with the notice requirements. I've reviewed this in depth and the notice that's been given. It's a problem. So the point being, regardless of what happens here tonight, this is not going to be the end of the issue. Okay, I'm very confident that it will be extremely easy to go to court, get an injunction, and send this thing right back to planning and zoning for violations of the UDC. I don't want that. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste the developer's time. All we're asking you is to require them to connect it to Solange. That would then provide compliance with the UDC. That would provide relief from our neighborhood. We're not asking you to take the burden off us. We're going to shoulder the main burden on this. We're just saying, let's spread it out a little bit and use a street that connects straight to Verot, half a mile long to Verot, and do that. I can tell you the other thing is, and I think it's going to have to go back to planning and zoning if we do this and give notice to Solange. I have no problem with that. They're entitled to this. But to be honest, you're about to put a neighborhood with $1 million homes right at the end of Solange. They're going to hit the property value jackpot, okay? That's going to raise all their property values right there. It's a win-win for everyone. The only thing it does is requires a little more delay that the developer, Audubon Lakes, has to go back to P&Z and give notice to Solange. They're going to have to spend a little bit more, but it's going to accomplish everything that the UDC requires. The good news is you guys don't just have to approve it or disapprove it. You can modify it. The statute allows that. What I'm asking you to do is modify the Audubon Lakes to require connectivity Solange. They can go back to P&Z, they can get the notice done, and we can avoid all of this. We will withdraw our appeal if that happens. The alternative is it's going to get tied up in court for a year, and then we're going to be right back here. Everyone loses in that situation. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Carol Rito, followed by Angela Oye.
Harold Rito, 410 Red Robin Trail. This is about safety. I don't, in the subdivision, the members of the subdivision don't oppose Audubon Farms or Audubon Lake. The inner structure of Mill Creek cannot support the traffic. And if it just doesn't support it. You've got a situation there, you're coming out to Verot, and I tried to call your traffic guy, and he won't return my call. He will not return my call. I'm looking for a solution. I'm not trying to blame somebody or say, hey, but we need to come up with a solution. Well, how are we going to solve this? This doesn't make any sense. You're kicking the can down the road, and you keep kicking it. Sooner or later, you're going to have to do something. But the way it's located and the situation out at the end of Verot and Mill Creek is not accessible, a left turn. I went to the meeting with the people from Vincent, they've got the same situation, but they've got right at the end where Virat stopped. They have to get out there and make a left turn. Citizens in Boulder Creek are driving 15, 20 minutes out of their way because it's a fear of pulling out there. And this is the worst. I didn't get this gray hair. I'm 72 years old. I didn't get this gray hair. But I look at what is safe and what is not safe. And that is not a safe intersection. And somebody is going to, there were 24 crashes in the last 2 years at that intersection. 24. And this data was gathered by the Lafayette City Police and LA Crash. This is a dangerous situation. It is probably within the top 5 most dangerous intersections I've encountered in my life. Take a look, please, and let's see what we can do. I think Donnie expressed it well, that we are not against Audubon Farms or Audubon Lake, but this Mill Creek cannot support this traffic. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Angela Oye, followed by Bill LeBlanc.
Angela Oye, I have 2 properties in Audubon Plantation, one in Phase 1, 300 Turtle Dove Trail, and one in Phase 2, 205 Red Robin Trail. I'm kind of in the same situation as Bob. This is the first time that I've ever, came across to where I had to go against a fellow builder and developer. I have no problem with Danielle. I have no problem with Bill. We've traveled together on business trips. I've bought property through her. She's helped sell property. That's not the problem. The issue is this is not personal. This is business. And this is personal for me. Because this is something that I was confused with before even learning that the development was coming up. And the confusion was, how come I get Lafayette Sheriff Department, if my alarm comes off, to come see about me, because Lafayette City Police cannot. So my son was a Lafayette policeman, and he couldn't even come and patrol my area because of the city not picking up Audubon Phase 1. But when I move to Phase 2, now Lafayette City Police will come if the alarm comes off or if there's problems. So how can Lafayette City approve something for Lafayette Parish? But it's really very confusing to me. So there's a road that's not safe for the neighborhood before even Phase 2 came up. But here we go, Phase 2, Phase 3, and now they want to open it up to all these hundreds of cars coming through. And it's not safe for Phase 1. Lafayette City doesn't want it in their hands. So how come Lafayette City can approve it? I'm just very confused about the whole thing. I'm paying taxes for the sheriff of Lafayette Parish, not Lafayette City, where I live. But yet Lafayette City has the say-so of opening it up. I just don't get it. How can Lafayette City open up a Lafayette Parish street? I just don't understand. So I would like clarification with that. And the safety is really a big concern. So you go down Mill Creek, you have to hurry up when it's raining, and you really spin your tires, and a lot of the wrecks were into the bridge. If you go look at that bridge, you're going to see the damage. It's bad. And then you go straight in the gully. There's several that went straight in the gully. So my daughter, I told you this already, had to go and an alternate route, which took her 20 minutes longer to get to school because I refused to allow her to take a left or a right. Because she would take a right and she would try to do a U-turn. The people would get upset on Verrot because they seen her take a U-turn and try to cut in front. Oh, you're not getting in. But that was the safety of my child. And it's just getting worse. So I've also placed another call to Lafayette to see why we can't get a traffic study. Not because of the development, but because we're less than a mile away from a major highway. That itself should require a Lafayette traffic study. haven't gotten a call back since the first time I talked to him. So I just would like something to be done about those major two things in my mind. That's the safety, and how can Lafayette disapprove and say it's too dangerous for them to want it, but yet let's open it up to a new development. I'm not against the development. It's really, you know, tugging at my heart because I don't want, you know, ill feelings with Bill or the builders in Lafayette, but I feel that's what's happening right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Terrio.
Real quick, add Ms. Ascott, please. To answer one of her questions, first and foremost, Audubon Plantation 1, that's all been annexed into the city of Lafayette. So the sheriff's department should not be patrolling that particular location. That is under the guise of Lafayette Consolidated Government, the city of Lafayette, so it would be city police.
Assuming it's annexed, yes.
It is annexed, yes. So it's supposed to be the city police. There should not be sheriff's department.
I can only assume so. I don't know what's annexed or not, so.
Please step.
Yeah, come up, Anna. Go ahead and recognize yourself again.
Yep, Ann Famoso, Development and Planning. Phase 1 of Audubon Plantation is in the unincorporated area. Phases 2 and 3 are in the city.
Okay, so
Okay.
not only were they not accepted, phase 1 was not accepted, it was not annexed like the other two. So you see, last time, stay there, Ann. See, last time we were under the assumption that, you know, the only issue was annexed and that it was not accepted by LCG. Here's the situation. Let's throw this picture out there. Suppose we, well, not suppose, we are at those crossroads right now. It looks like there's a stalemate between whether LCG is going to take care of that road or if whether Bob Austin's going to take care of that road. So if neither of the two ever happens and the road becomes deteriorated, who's going to be responsible for fixing that road, or will it be fixed in order for people to travel through it?
Can I ask Mr. Dubrock to come up?
Sure.
Are you asking about the roads in phase 1?
You're,
talking about
you're asking about perpetual maintenance, correct?
The phase 1, yeah, the
Okay.
phase 1.
Okay.
The answer to
Thanks.
your question is that the maintenance of the roads not yet accepted for perpetual maintenance, so the responsibility of the developer.
Would it be the developer, or would it be to the owners of the
owners of the-
individuals and the homes in there because they bought the homes? Would that be true, Mr. Dubrow?
I'm not an attorney, but the attorney said that's the case. Honestly, this is a circumstance that has only recently become a notable problem, that we do have several subdivisions in the parish and the city that are accepted, or rather they are not accepted for perpetual maintenance. The streets are dedicated at the time that the final plats are pulled, and therefore the developer can sell the lots. That is sort of the purpose that you do a final plat, is so that they can say that the streets are dedicated, and therefore the lenders will loan home builders and private citizens loans to build on public streets, because it's an important aspect of the property value. But the way that the code is set up is that the developer is warrantying that road for another year. And so what has happened with this one, in particular Audubon Plantation, phase 1, is that the streets are substandard in that they did not pass the inspections that were done. There are numerous borings that indicate substandard base and substandard asphalt. I will say that has not been well thoroughly documented, but that is the case on that subdivision, and the people involved in it in the field know that. I did promise Mr. Austin a comprehensive report on his subdivision, and that's forthcoming. I have not done that yet. I told him that at the last meeting. Nevertheless, I think Paul indicates well the circumstance of perpetual maintenance still lies with the developer.
Okay. And I understand where all this is going, and Mr. Dubrock, I appreciate it, but not saying who's right and who's wrong, because that's not for me, that's going to be for somebody else to decide. But in the event that they're at a standstill, which they are, between LCG and Mr. Austin to find out who's going to repair this, and Ms. Ascott, if the road deteriorates, how can the developer be held liable for it Is that because LCG has not accepted it yet? Or will it be the homeowners that live in the development that's responsible for it?
Until LCG accepts the roads for perpetual maintenance, it's not LCG's obligation to fix the road,
Okay.
period.
So then let me ask planning and zoning, who would be liable for the roads?
She
Who would-
can't answer who.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I don't quite understand your question.
I guess what I'm trying to say, Mr. Austin's not going to pay to fix the road right now. Let's assume this. He's not going to pay. LCG's not going to go in there to reconstruct the road because they haven't accepted it yet. So if there is traffic that's going into the new development and the road that's there now deteriorates to where there's potholes and everything, who's going to pay to fix it?
Well, I don't know.
And the
for
developer's not going to fix it because he's
Yeah,
saying
I-
that the road was
I
met.
can't answer that question because I don't know that Mr. Austin is not going to fix his roads.
Right.
And I don't know that to the fact that if he decides not to fix the road, that doesn't change the fact that it's his obligation.
So what are we going to do to remedy that? I mean, are we
First of all-
we're just not going to accept it forever?
Well, let me say this. We've gone way off topic, and the issue of perpetual maintenance in Audubon Plantation has nothing to do with this appeal that is
Right, I know what
currently
you're saying.
before you. So perhaps it's for another discussion. It might be a result, an argued result of whether this development occurs, but the appeal itself is related to the approval of the development.
The reason I brought it up is the individual had questioned the council about the two items. So I understand it kind of went in that direction, but I was trying to do that. And like you mentioned, ma'am, apparently it is the sheriff's department that covers that tract because it was not annexed by the city of Lafayette, that one portion. So that will be the sheriff's department. City police will not patrol in there. So that's all I have for now. Thank you. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Bill LeBlanc, followed by Cody DeVille.
Councilman Terrio.
What this is going to show is the connections that we're making to Gunter Grass through Sawgrass compared to having to go through Audubon Plantation to make the connection. Also, real quick on the road issue, I'm not going to take up any time on it, but in the event that these roads do fall apart, are they condemned, or even if they're blocked off, it's going to come in handy to have that connection that we're going to make on Gunter Grass. It's going to come in very handy. Good evening. My name is Bill LeBlanc, and I have been a home builder in Lafayette since 1992. Due to the changes in the local marketplace and lack of new residential developments, myself and several local builder partners have started to build our own developments in Lafayette. I'd like to say I'm very surprised by what has taken place since the development was approved by planning and zoning. The development we are proposing is low-density, upscale development, which surpasses the requirements mandated by the new UDC codes. The restrictions of the new UDC codes makes it harder than ever to make a development in Lafayette financially feasible. The connection this development creates offers a new outlet to the Youngsville Highway and 2 new outlets to East Broussard, as well as a stub out to future connections. At the last City Council meeting, it was stated that the connections to East Broussard were further than going through Audubon Plantation to get to Mill Creek. We have measured this distance, and that is not the case. The distance is actually shorter, and that's the handout that I gave to you all. One of your copies will have Audubon Plantation, and it shows the route to get to
the dreaded Mill Creek Road, which honestly, I wouldn't take it. The other one that is labeled Sawgrass Park shows the distance to get to the two outlets that go on the East Broussard Road. The difference, 3,766 feet to get to the two outlets going to East Broussard. 4,684 feet to get to Mill Creek Road. And then if you have to pass on a substandard road to boot, I sure don't see any reason why to take that route. Over 5 years ago, the development of Audubon Plantation was approved through planning and zoning. At that time, there was a lot of opposition from the residents of Mill Creek Road because of traffic concerns. And two additional phases have been developed into 3 phases. There are a total of 5 stub outs in Audubon Plantation presently. They're all marked with large blue signs clearly stating that this access is for future developments and connections. I would not be standing here tonight if Audubon Plantation had not been approved. I'm also taken back that the Lafayette City Council has the authority to vote down a development simply because it was appealed after a planning and zoning approval. A development that surpasses the requirements of the new UDC code and meets all of the city requirements. Keep in mind, we ask for no variances or concessions from planning or zoning. Planning and zoning.
Mr. LeBlanc, your time is up.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Final speaker is Cody DeVille.
Hi, I'm Cody DeVille. I'm the developer of Audubon Lakes. So just to give y'all a little bit more information, there was some misinformation that the earlier speaker said. There is one entrance up there and there's another entrance on Crossbill. Whether Audubon Farms goes through or not, I have a right of way to go into our neighborhood. So before Audubon Farms even came into the picture, we have 2 accesses. Also on phase 3 of an Audubon plantation, there is only 1 entrance and exit. So it's kind of, you know, weird that they want to deny us, but to get to their phase 3, there's 1 entrance and exit. The Mill Creek Road argument, I understand 100% what they're saying. The remedy to that is connectivity, right? Let's make 2 more entrances on state highways to alleviate that traffic. If you have a line backed up at Mill Creek and it's that dangerous, then why wouldn't you go the other way? That's more safer. That gives you an easier route. The Soulange Road thing, again, that's some more misinformation. We have the owner of the property has a right-of-way for a construction entrance, okay? There's a difference between a construction entrance and an actual road that has services. We've been planning this development probably since August. I have over $100,000 invested just in planning. My name goes up, my number goes up on the sign when it gets there, and the phone calls that I got, they let me know beforehand how difficult this development, you know, that these are the most powerful people in Lafayette, that there's no way this is going to get through. They were meeting with the governor, they were going to ruin my career, et cetera, et cetera. All that put aside, this development asks for nothing different of the UDC. There's a whole division. Even the Planning and Zoning Commission engineers are baffled to why there's any reason for this to be denied. We followed every rule, we surpassed some rules. The Soulange access is a completely different issue. The same people on Soulange Road will have the same opinions as the people in Audubon Plantation. Negating that
you still have access to Highway 92 and to East Broussard through the other developments. Again, me and Bill LeBlanc have no relation. He's a developer, home builder. I develop and just sell lots. That's it. I mean, we don't share a business. It's not some grand conspiracy to cheat out the council or misinform people. I'm just doing a subdivision to sell lots. The same product that they have in 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? I would recommend that the council members utilize the list of the motions as the ones available for them for the next two referenced appeals. Number one, a motion to approve the action decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission, or two, motion to disapprove the action decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission, or three, motion to approve the action decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission with the following modifications, at which point the council member making this motion would verbally state the modifications they desire. Please note, for any one of the above motions made to be successful, a second and a vote of the majority of the council members present is required. With that being said, Mr. Scott is hot, and whatever council member wants to jump on in for a motion. Councilman Castillo. Thank you, sir. I'd like to make a motion to approve the action/decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. We have a second by Councilman Conk. The motion has been made to approve the action and decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mr. Scott.
Yes, sir.
Just for the council's clarity, a
Sure.
yes vote would do what?
The motion made by Councilman Castillo to approve the decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission effectively would deny the appeal. It would support the Planning Commission's decision to allow the development to go forward. So a yes vote would allow the development to go forward. A no vote would basically grant the appeal. Oh, yes. The other thing that I need to mention to you is because we are going to have two abstentions, you still need 5 votes or more to carry a majority for that motion.
Councilman Castillo.
I thought it said majority. It says a majority vote of the members present. Even though the 2 members are abstaining, they are still considered present under the law. We'll be back.
Please call for the vote.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
No.
District 8? District 9?
No.
District 1? District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
No.
The motion is
Failed.
the motion fails.
The next item. Hang on, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Jumping
No,
in.
let me explain something.
That's right.
Whether it is approved, whether it is disapproved, that being the decision of the Planning Commission, or whether it's modified, one way or the other, this body has to come to a majority vote on that decision. So we are going to have to sit here and address this until a majority vote is obtained.
What was the vote just now?
4-3.
Make the motion again? I can't. Motion to accept the Planning Commission's decision. Councilman Castillo has made a motion to approve the action/decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Second by Councilman Conk. We can clear the voting screen and we'll vote again. Please call the vote.
District 7?
No.
District 8?
Abstain.
District 9?
No.
District 1? District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
No.
District 6,
Yes.
Same result. But we're obviously not going to stay here all night, so if someone doesn't want to change their vote, what is our next legal action? Because, I mean, it's already 11:30, and I'm not going to sit here and force this council to sit here and do this over and over again. Hang on. Go ahead, Mr. Escott.
We did the research and could find no answer to this dilemma, other than to say that if you fail to act and you decide for purposes of continuing on in this meeting to proceed to the next item, you are subject and likely to have a suit of mandamus filed, asking a court to order you to go back and come to a decision because the UDC requires you to decide.
For the next meeting, can you get an ordinance to fix the UDC? Because it apparently doesn't work. I mean, we passed this UDC years ago, and this is ridiculous. But no, I'm not going to force the council to sit here, so we'll do it one more time. Council, I cannot make a motion, but if y'all want to do it one more time, and then we'll go to the next one. Councilman Castile makes a motion to approve the action decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do I have a second? I have a second by Councilman Conk. Please call for the vote.
District 8, District 9,
No.
District 1, District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
No.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
I'm going to vote yes, and I would, yes.
the motion is approved.
Mr. Escott, can I now move forward to the next appeal? We can now move on to the next appeal. Please read.
Reconsideration of
Hang on 1 second. You good, Mr. Escott? Okay, please read.
Reconsideration of appeal of Planning Commission action by adjacent property owner, Drainage, Traffic, Safety, and Crime, Audubon Lakes, PC 2018-0058.
Okay, once again, I will ask legal. Councilwoman Hebert.
Under the Louisiana Code of Governmental Ethics, I have a conflict of interest, or at least a potential or perceived conflict of interest due to my husband's professional relationship with one of the residents of Audubon Plantation. For that reason, I must recuse myself from this vote. The Code of Governmental Ethics disallows me from voting, even though I am permitted to participate in discussion.
Councilman Nakane, can you hit your button so I can?
Lakes. My apologies.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Nakane.
Under the Louisiana Code of Government Ethics, I have a conflict or interest, or at least a potential or perceived conflict of interest due to my professional relationship and my employer's business relationship with one of the residents of Audubon Lakes. For that reason, I must recuse myself from this vote. The Code of Government Ethics disallows me from voting, although I am permitted to participate in discussion.
All right, I need to call legal. I need to ask legal to explain the need for the reconsideration.
Reason that I explained on the prior item of appeal related to the procedural issue under 8969E2 of the UDC.
Thank you, sir. Someone from Development and Planning.
Ann Famoso, Development and Planning. This is same appeal we just heard, very similar to the one we just heard for Audubon Farms. This one's for Audubon Lakes. As you can see on your screen, it's the one on that east side. It's 38 residential lots connecting to Audubon Plantation Phase 3 and Audubon Farms, and ask for your reconsideration of this appeal.
Thank you. Seeing no council discussion, any public comments, Ms. Williams?
15 citizens who did not wish to speak signed in, 14 of which support the appeal, 1 in opposition. We do have 6 speakers, the first of which is Colby Domain, followed by Chris Quibido.
Colby Domingue, 100 Golden Eye. It looks like I lost my backup, but I'm still here. I think we still collectively would like an answer from planning. Is this truly a single development or not? And there's been discussion again, is it safety an issue or is it not? How can we take that out of the theoretical world? The answer is, declare this what it is, a single development. Let's do a traffic study. We've already said that we're fine with these developments. We'd love to have a traffic impact study. We would love for Audubon Lakes to consider connecting properly to Solange. Again, having 2 connections to a highway that are in the complete wrong direction does not solve relief and flow of traffic trying to reach Fair House School Road. And I would love to yield my time here, the last 4 minutes for planning, if they can truly answer if Audubon Lakes can stand alone as presented to planning and zoning, that this is truly a single development. Does it pass UDC? That's something we're allowed to ask.
I want to go ahead and say your question again. I'm going to try to.
By planning and zoning declaring that these are...
Hang on.
Sure.
Councilman Boudreaux, you might have the answer.
Somebody from planning and zoning, please come and explain to this council how these 2 developments are considered separate developments.
These 2 developments arrived at our office at the same time, but with separate property owners and separate developers. And they can stand alone per the UDC. If one went, Audubon Farms can stand alone, Audubon Lakes can stand alone. So that's why we took them we received them at the same time, and we took them at the same time. The only thing in the UDC that they may be not, if we had received 1 development for 100 lots, we would have required a traffic impact analysis. And that's really the only thing that I can see in the UDC that may be different from how we reviewed it.
So according to the way the UDC is written today, these 2 developments was evaluated independently and on their own, and both of them meet all specs, and there has been no special considerations, no oversights. All boxes have been checked, according, not by the developer, I'm talking about by our staff, to say that these developments are legitimate and standalone developments.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you. I would respond in saying that what went through the planning and zoning for Audubon Lakes was the box as we see it here, which was not connecting to Crossbill. And I understand that's what Mr. Cody said, that he did have 2 outlets. That plan did not present in front of planning and zoning. They presented that single development with 1 access point to the Kingfisher extension. That does not comply with UDC.
One thing we're not going to do is going to go ahead and answer that, but I can't have our staff answer every question that someone's going to have.
Sure.
Well, hang on. Please stop talking out of turn. Hang on, your mic's not hot. No, sir. No, sir, she walked off. Hang on. Then don't hang on. We'll just sit right here. Don't hang on.
I just want a clarification. So there's that connection to the north that goes to Kingfisher.
Correct.
Yes. And so what was the additional one you were?
So that's a single access point.
Right.
That was what was presented to planning and zoning.
Right.
Sir.
And that's what was
Go
approved.
ahead,
That's what
answer the
got
question.
preliminary plat
That-
approval.
Do you have 2 access points?
They have
Does it
one.
mean?
They have 1 access point to an existing development now,
Okay.
and they will connect to Audubon Farms when
And
that's
those
developed.
2 things meet the code?
You just need 1 to meet the code.
Okay.
Yep.
So whether they submitted one or not, the code was met.
Right.
Thank you.
I don't believe that answer is factual. That again, the planning and zoning has declared these are two separate developments. If one development is looked on its own with a single access point, it cannot pass the UDC.
These are two separate ones. Yeah, and
No, I answered a question. Yeah.
Stop asking other questions.
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry. Yep.
You still have some time left, sir.
Sure. First, this is the first time I've ever been called a power broker with context to governors all over the lands. I'll have to let my wife know that when I get home. Again, we are pro-development. We want to see Audubon Farms and Audubon Lakes put into place. We want to see them connected with the right connectivity, accessing Solange Road. It's less expensive for the developer. They have options both on the shark fin for the property to do the 90-degree turn at Kingfisher, and they have an option to connect to Solange. Connecting to Solange is the right thing for properly planning this community as we go forward. Again, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Chris Quibido? Chris Quibido. John O'Meara?
Thank you. It's going to be deja vu. The points I'd like to make as property owner on Audubon Lakes is the same I made to the council last time, which we believed we left there with a positive vote with in essence, a no vote. So the things that I have to say are pretty repetitive. Most of the people have said it already. A couple of points I'd like to make is that this council, I feel, according to the UDC code and the Planning Commission approval, is obligated to uphold your laws and regulations, which approve our subdivision. A no vote will establish a precedent for you that you'll be denying proposed developments all over Lafayette that meet all of the legal requirements. Some others may ask for variations. I understand our developers ask for none. And our particular subdivision, the Lakes, is made up of 36 lots. It's a lower density than parts of Phase 2 and Phase 3 of Audubon already. So I believe they've met all of the requirements. I'd like to address the concern that some people have expressed that this is one development. We sold our property, had a buyer for it, probably 45 days prior to our neighbor selling his property. So those situations of a tie-in of the two being one, the two developers, to my knowledge, had never worked together and still are not working together. So it's two separate entities, to clarify that point, in my opinion. The vote you make today is going to set a precedent for lots of different things in subdivisions and development, and it's going to cause a large headache if we don't approve the lakes as you have done in the farms. The development of subdivisions within Lafayette Parish, the idea is for the connectivity. I believe that our developers and the developers of our neighbor have accomplished that and have proven that. So I hope that this council votes in a way that is honest and true to the code and to the responsibility, and also to eliminate predicaments such as this or larger scale when the rest of the developments come for approval and you have to go through this each time. So I think the UDC code is clear. I appreciate your time. It's very late, and I'll go for the vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Harold Rito? Angela Oye? Cody DeVille?
Cody DeVille, developer at Audubon Lakes. The same points, guys. I mean, we're increasing connectivity. I mean, I have 2 access points. I actually have a right-of-way all the way from my property all the way to Sawgrass right now. So that could be utilized if the other development doesn't work. I don't know. I mean, we followed all the rules. We did everything we were supposed to do. Understand the backlash, you know, but at the end of the day, we followed all the rules. What are we supposed to do, you know? That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Once again, I would recommend the council utilize the following list of motions: a motion to approve the action decision for the planning, a motion to disapprove the action decision of the planning, or a motion to approve the action decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission with the following modifications. Once again, at which point the council member making this motion would verbally state the modifications they desire. Please note, for any one of the above motions made to be successful, a second and a vote of the majority of the council members present is required. Councilman Castillo.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the decision by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
I have a motion by Councilman Castile to approve the action decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission, seconded by Councilman Comp. Does anybody need any clarification? Please call for the vote.
District 9?
No.
District 1?
Same.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
No.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Same.
The motion is approved.
We'll now move to announcements of vacancies on boards and commissions. Cindy, please read the vacancies.
Due to expiration, a vacancy exists on the Alarm Review Board for a 4-year term effective February 1st, 2019. Applicants must be a minority as defined by Louisiana Revised Statute 382233.2. Due to expiration, a vacancy will exist on the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 5-year term effective June 5th, 2019. Applicants must be a resident of the City of Lafayette. A vacancy exists on the Lafayette Metropolitan Expressway Commission for an indefinite term effective April 9th, 2019. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancies must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. Yearly ethics training for all appointees is required, as is financial disclosure under certain circumstances. Resumes are to be forwarded to Veronica L. Williams, Clerk of the Council, P.O. Box 4017-C, Lafayette, Louisiana 70502, or email to bclafayette@lafayettela.gov no later than noon, Tuesday, March 26, 2019, with appointments to be made on April 9th, 2019.
Thank you. Please also read boards of appointments by the council as a whole. Number 40.
Appointment to the Evangeline Thruway Redevelopment Team for a 4-year term effective May 1st, 2019.
The resumes received for consideration are from Ross Cottrell, Maureen Foster, Corey Jack. Maureen Foster is the incumbent. Councilman Boudreaux.
Nominate Corey Jack, please.
Corey Jack has been nominated. Any other nominations? Hang on one second. Let me get you hot. Miss Abear.
Since we're voting on the same group of names for the same board, starting at the same time, is there a way we can just list both names and knock it out right now? Or do we have to go one at a time?
I'll defer to legal.
We gotta keep this meeting lasting as long as possible, so let's just
Alrighty.
keep this going.
So all I have is one nomination of Corey Jack. Please call for the vote.
District 1? District 2? District 3? District 4? District 5?
Corey Jack.
District 6? District 7?
Oh, no, that's not me. Sorry. I'm 8.
District 8? Oh, yeah. District 8?
Corey Jack.
District 9?
Jack.
Corey Jack is the appointee.
Please read number 41.
Appointment to the Evangeline Thruway Redevelopment Team for a 4-year term effective May 1st, 2019.
We have Ross Cottrell, Maureen Foster, Corey Jack. Maureen Foster is the incumbent. Councilman Comp.
I nominate Maureen Foster.
Seeing no other nominations, please call for the vote.
District 2? District 3, District 4, District 5,
Maureen Foster.
District 6,
Foster.
District 7, District 8, District 9, District 1. Maureen Foster is the appointee.
And Mr. Chair, I don't know if is Connie Boyer here? And I don't know if she erroneously signed in for this one, but she signed in and she did not wish to speak but opposed the appointment.
Okay, do we have any other public comments on 40 or 41?
No, sir.
Thank you. Please read 42.
Appointment to the Transportation Policy Committee for a governing committee, the governing body of the Metropolitan Planning Organization, for an indefinite term, effective March 12, 2019. Applicants must reside within the unincorporated portion of Lafayette Parish or within a participating member jurisdiction in Lafayette Parish.
The resume received for consideration is from Donald Valere Sr. There is no incumbent submission. I need to ask for a nomination. Donald's been nominated. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
District 3, District 4, District 5,
Donald Valere Sr.,
District 6,
Valier.
District 7, District 8, District 9, District 1, District 2. Donald Valere Sr. is the appointee.
we'll now move to the portion of the council appointments by council members, mayor, president, and/or any other direct appointing authority. Cindy, please read.
Jared Bellor, District 5, appointed Robert F. Richard to the Lafayette Science Museum Advisory Board for a 4-year term effective February 1st, 2018. Nanette Cook, District 7, appointed Jimmy Guidry to the Lafayette Animal Care Center Advisory Board for a 5 months and 4-year term effective March 1st, 2019. Liz Abear, District 8, appointed Beth Elkins to the Lafayette Animal Care Center Advisory Board for a 4-year term effective August 1st,